All right, at the end of our last video, I had just highlighted the two major projects for this course, the Research Application Mini Project and the Final Research Review Paper Project. I will talk more about those in just a minute. One thing I do want to highlight is that in the summer section of this course, this assignment will be completed in a group for both the research paper and the mini project. During this regular semester, you have the option to do a group or individually, but in the summer I find the best thing to do is a group because it becomes much less overwhelming. So we'll talk about that more in depth. But going further through the syllabus, the grading scale is here. Again, notice it's out of 150 points. And the grading range there for A minus, B plus, B, C, F is standard for the College of Education. In terms of communication, all of our course is online, all the required part. So I really highly recommend you log into Blackboard every single day and check your email every single day because that's how I will be communicating with you. And again, participation goes hand in hand with that. You are expected as participating in the course to take part in the online activities. When I have to fill out somebody who stopped attending this course, it's based on the last time they logged into our course in Blackboard. So just keep that in mind. The more you log into Blackboard, the easier I think this course really is because you want to be active and participating to get the most out of it that you can. These last two tabs are pretty much standard for the College of Education. It just talks about the George Mason Honor Code, which I do expect you to follow. Also, if you're registered with the Office of Disability Services, please contact me, via email or phone, and let me know so we can get your accommodations in place. I'm also happy to meet with you in person about this if that's most comfortable. The next part is just, again, the policy of the university for responsible computing. And the rest of these are just about exhibiting professional behaviors, which is expected by the College of Education. In terms of resources and values, I'm not going to hit all of these, but I will talk about CAPS briefly. The Counseling and Psychological Services is open to all students at George Mason. So if you ever feel that you need assistance in terms of mental health, whether it be caused by this class or any other class, please feel free to reach out to them. If you do have some issues, stresses caused by this class, I do encourage you to call and so we can talk or meet in person as well. If you are struggling with the writing this class, I will recommend that you visit the University Writing Center, but you don't have to wait till I recommend that. You can register for an appointment online and go meet with them as we work through our paper this semester. Okay, so the rest of that is just tied to the values of the College of Education, which hopefully you're familiar with, or if not, you can click on them and see what they are. So that is our syllabus. What people are usually, again, most concerned about are the schedule of things and assignments during the class, and then how are you going to be assessed and how will points be distributed for your work. So those are probably the two biggest ones to keep in mind. Okay, so going back to the syllabus and expectations tab, what else is under there? After the two versions of the syllabus, I have different things that could be helpful to you. Again, I will emphasize that any technical questions with computer and hardware software go to IT support. Technical Blackboard questions could go straight to Blackboard or our Blackboard person at Mason who can be contacted at this email address. But if you have course questions for me, you can always email me. If you have a question for the good of the group, though, you might want to go to the FAQ blog and discussion areas, and that's under Help. And if you click there, and then you click FAQ blog, you can start a thread where you ask a question, and then I will respond so everybody can see the answer. I'll tell you, rarely do people use this function, but you are welcome to do it. What I try to do if people email me with an important question that will help others, I try to post that as an announcement that what the question was, not who sent it, but what the question was and what the answer is if I think it will benefit the group, because I find that the FAQ blog is not usually used, but you are welcome to use it. Okay, and so that pretty much goes through the syllabus and expectations tab. If you go to the course overview tab, this has a look at the 590 course week by week, so you can just see what the learning modules are. And it just generally tells you what you'll find in each module. And you'll see when we click on it, they do have very similar formats for each module. Okay, so going back, this is again under the course overview tab that we just clicked on. There's a major course assignments folder, and then you'll find two subfolders. This is much more in-depth information on the mini project and then the literature review paper. The mini project is due July 16th, and you will be working on that project for a much more focused amount of time, 3 to 4 weeks. Well, we will be working on this paper the whole semester. So if you click on this folder, what is in there? First document will be a description of the whole assignment. And so sometimes people ask me as they're working during the semester, I don't see a full description of the assignment. I don't see the full rubric. In the learning modules, it will link you to the rubric, but usually it will not link you to the full description. So that's why it's important to watch the video today that I'm doing so you know exactly where to find the full description of this project. So this link will tell you about the project, and at the bottom there's 3 different samples, 2 are group and 1's individual. For this project, you are taking, I recommend this, you take whatever your literature review topic is. Let's say it's using concrete mathematics materials with students in elementary school. You would take what you're doing with that literature review and you will propose your own study in that area. So it will be a study that's taking things a step further or in a slightly different direction than what you're seeing out there in the literature already. So it's making your own study, and it's an ideal study. You don't have to complete it as part of the class. It's just proposed. And in this proposal, you have ideal conditions. So if you think ideally you want a randomized selection of participants from a randomized selection of schools within a large district, you can do all that because you don't actually have to do it. So you don't need the funding to do all these really expensive research type things. Now, when you design your project, I really recommend that you use the topic that you have for the literature review paper because you'll already have all that background literature, those references you can just support your project because it'll be on the same idea, just taking it a step further. And I just clicked on what's called the outline or the template for this project because I actually have it set up in a PowerPoint for you and you just fill in the slides. Now you're welcome to add additional slides. Sometimes people have to add like 2 slides per each heading they see. But this will show you, hopefully it'll completely load here in a second. This will show you what it looks like right now. So if you look at this PowerPoint, it has a title page and you can put your group member names, and then it has the first thing you want to put is your educational problem. What are you exploring? So you'll explain that, and this is the slide where I tell you use some of those great references that you're using in your paper because they'll be great to support what you're doing in your research study. Then you'll have a purpose statement. What is your purpose for your particular study, and what are the research questions you came up with to answer with your study? And then it goes into real basic things. What method are you going to use? Participants, how you will select the participants, where it will take place, different variables, how you're going to implement your study, some validity and reliability issues. I recommend to people that you usually pick 3 to 5 ways you're controlling for validity and reliability. How you're going to analyze the data. How do we know that your study is a well-designed study? What are the quality indicators? And then reflecting on that study. Where would you go for future directions? What did you learn by completing this proposal for a study? Okay, so again, you won't actually do the study, you'll reflect after you make this proposal. So I'm going to click out of this. I just wanted you to see that it's all kind of set up for you already in terms of what content needs to be in there. Okay, so going back, the same types of resources you had there are the same type that you will have for your final research paper. You'll have a description, which gives you full directions, and then the outline here is actually an APA paper template. that has the different sections already in there, just a starting place for you. And in each section, I give you like a little bit of an overview of what you'll be putting in there. Now, I'll click on the description. You are going to be putting this paper together piece by piece. So when you see it here, it looks a little bit overwhelming, but you'll put your paper together with an introduction, a method section, your results, and your discussion. And of course, you'll have an abstract, you'll have a title page, you'll have references, and this will just kind of show you abstract, introduction, method, results, discussion, and then of course you'll have your references. Now, when we say method, your method in this paper, you're like, well, I'm not doing a study. How can there be a method? Your method will be how you're looking to find the studies that you're doing in your literature review. So it will be describing how you're conducting your literature review. And the results will be descriptions of the studies that you find. So at first when you look at this, you're like, this looks like a study. But no, it's making a systematic literature review look just like that, very systematic. And again, we will go through all of these things in depth as we go through the learning modules with this paper. So each section. So you're welcome to look at the sample papers and also to look at the template. So besides the major course assignment folders there, the course rubrics, these are all the rubrics. Again, these are just the same rubrics as in the folders with the full information in the sample papers. This one is just how I grade participation. And usually it's by completing in a full and complete way the assignments that are given each week in the learning modules, that you're meeting all the facets of the assignment that I'm asking for. And each week, the rubrics that you will be completing for the assignments, all the assignments will have the rubrics and their grading guidelines embedded in the learning modules. So the learning modules are really a one-stop shop every week. And then again, another way to get to the FAQ blog. Those are all under, this is all under course overview. Like I had mentioned, the learning modules are the meat of the course. As I open more up, you'll see a longer list here. But if you go into Learning Module 1, all the modules are set up this way. You'll see navigation on the left-hand side, and they'll be set up with an advanced organizer that gives you the due date, and that tells you everything you'll be working through. Typically, I will start out with a reading that you'll need to complete, and then you will have usually a quiz or two, and then some kind of task to complete towards one of your projects. And this one you're working on your city humans training activity. So all the modules are set up like that. You'll notice with the PowerPoint, because usually I'll have a PowerPoint embedded, there's many different modalities to look at it, to read it through a script, to listen and see it in a video. So you pick what works best for you. Okay, so when you log into the course, what's the most important thing to go to? The learning modules. Other things you'll be doing throughout the semester is every single person will have a wiki here. And this wiki will have your name and you'll click on it. And that'll be where you're adding the sections of your paper. So every week your group will be adding at least 1 or 2 parts of your paper and people will be giving you feedback on it here. So no one has a wiki yet because we haven't started that piece, but you will. On the discussion board, there are 3 discussion time periods. One's for your introduction, which is this week, and then one's to post your mini project, and then to post whose final draft of their paper they're going to review. That's when we get to the very, very end of the course. This week you should be posting here and telling us these 10 things about yourself. And I see a bunch of people have already done it, which is awesome. And hopefully more of you will do it in the next 24 hours. So we will use the discussion board at least 3 times. Under here, I will be posting big activities. Right now, it's just the first activity. You can get to this tab through the learning modules, but it's also here. You can go straight to it under activities and assignments. And then here is just a group work evaluation form. I want to keep this on your brain because you will be working in a group, and at the end of the semester, part of your final grade before I assign it will be based on that group work evaluation form and how much you and your group were able to work together productively and how much you contributed. So we'll talk more about how your group will work together as we set up groups. But there will be more assignments that are added on here as we move through the course.